have crossed your last line, Megan. You have absolutely crossed the point of no return. And honestly, I think even the evil mastermind herself knows it this time. Because the walls aren't just closing in, they are crumbling down on top of that soulless beige mansion in Montecito. You need to pull up a chair and pour yourself something strong, because we are about to get into the nitty-gritty of what might be the biggest scandal to hit these two grifters yet. And that is saying something, considering the trail of destruction they have left behind them. We are talking about the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and he is absolutely furious. And let me tell you, when Trump has you in his sights, especially when it involves the dirty laundering of U.S. taxpayer money, you are finished. It is game over. The spotlight-hungry Z-lister and her brainwashed favorite royal lapdog puppet, Prince Harry, have finally messed with the wrong country, the wrong government, and the wrong bank account. Ours. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. We have to talk about this because the mainstream media, those terrified little mice who are afraid of Meghan's lawyers, they are tiptoeing around this, but we aren't going to tiptoe. We are going to stomp right through the truth. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue to find themselves at the center of controversy, particularly when it comes to their involvement with U.S. government-funded initiatives. Now, doesn't that just make your blood boil right off the bat? We were told they wanted financial independence. We were told they wanted to make their own way. And yet, here they are, allegedly dipping their sticky fingers into the pot of American tax dollars. As detailed in various reports that are finally breaking through the silence, the Archewell Foundation, that hollow shell of a charity that seems to exist solely to pay for Meghan's PR, has been actively participating in programs like Operation Allies Welcome. Now, on paper, this sounds noble, doesn't it? Helping resettle thousands of Afghan refugees into the United States. It pulls at the heartstrings. It makes you think, oh, maybe they are doing some good. But honey, wake up and smell the grift. While the goal may have been humanitarian, what is troubling to many, and what has President Trump reportedly seeing red, is the massive amount of taxpayer money being funneled into organizations like theirs. We are talking about millions, and it raises the ultimate question that every hard-working American and every observer of this slow-motion car crash should be asking. Where is that money truly going? How much of it is actually buying blankets and food for refugees? And how much is being funneled to the couple themselves for administrative costs, for consulting fees, for private jets to fly them to summits where they talk about climate change while spewing carbon into the atmosphere? It is no secret that the Archewell Foundation has been involved with these large-scale initiatives, and while they are marketed as charitable, many watchdogs are raising serious, terrifying concerns about the lack of transparency surrounding its finances. You know, if you or I started a charity and took government money, the IRS would be at our door with a microscope in 5 minutes. But for the Duke and Duchess of Deception? Silence. For instance, and this is the kicker, the Archewell Foundation has yet to file its 2024 990 tax return. Why? What are you hiding, Meghan? Did the math not math? Did the expenses column look a little too much like a wardrobe budget for a pseudo-royal tour? As of now, the IRS has not audited its financial activities, and that double standard is what has people like Donald Trump, and frankly, people like me and you, absolutely irate. Given the large sums of government funding involved, taxpayers in the U.S. deserve a complete line-by-line breakdown of where this money is going and who it is benefiting beyond the refugees themselves. Are Harry and Meghan's personal or political interests being subsidized by American taxpayers? That is the question that could send them packing. Imagine the audacity. You leave the British royal family, you spit on the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, you trample on the kindness of King Charles. You betray the brother who loved you, Prince William, and the sister-in-law who tried to help you, Catherine, all to come to America and allegedly live off the public dime while pretending to be billionaires. It is a scam. It is a hustle. And it is unraveling. What many critics are pointing to, and what has really ignited this firestorm, is the political activism that the Archewell Foundation has been accused of promoting over the past few years. You cannot be a charity and a political super PAC at the same time, but Meghan thinks the rules don't apply to her. She thinks she is the smartest person in the room. Instead of focusing purely on humanitarian work, it has been alleged that the foundation has been using its resources to undermine political figures, including President Donald Trump, and has been working in a way that interferes with U.S. elections and constitutional rights. This is where it gets dangerous for them. This is where the brainwashed puppet Harry realizes he isn't in a protected palace anymore. These actions have raised serious concerns about whether the Foundation's charitable status should be revoked. And it should be. Yesterday. After all, if an organization is using donations, and especially government grants, to influence political outcomes, then it is no longer functioning as a charity. It is a political weapon, and for a British prince to be the face of that, it is unconstitutional. It is a slap in the face to 1776. To make matters worse, it has been reported that organizations receiving funding through the Archewell Foundation are also linked to political figures in the UK, further complicating the issue. We are hearing about links to the Labour Party. The Labour Party. So now we have a globalist web of influence peddling, with Harry and Meghan sitting in the middle like spiders, using money meant for refugees to play political games on both sides of the Atlantic. For many, the idea of a member of the British royal family, especially Prince Harry, being involved in U.S. politics feels like an unacceptable breach of sovereignty. His personal connection to the UK's Labour Party has raised eyebrows, especially since it has been claimed that such interference could be damaging to American politics and the right to free speech. Remember when Harry called the First Amendment bonkers? We didn't forget Harry. We remember. And now? The idea that he is using a foundation funded by our money to potentially suppress speech or push a woke agenda is terrifying. While the mainstream media may be hesitant to cover these topics with the depth they deserve because they are afraid of being called racist by Meghan's bot army, there is a growing call for independent creators, particularly in the US, to shine a light on the couple's ongoing activities. And that is what we are doing right here. We are turning on the high beams. The public deserves full transparency regarding how much money has been laundered to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle through their foundation and what the true motives are behind their political involvement. Donald Trump knows a bad deal when he sees one. He knows a scammer when he sees one. And the reports coming out that he is looking into their visa status, looking into their finances, looking into this charity, it is the reckoning we have been waiting for. Some critics argue that these two have positioned themselves as victims of the system, constantly pushing the narrative that they are going broke or struggling. Oh, poor us, Daddy Charles cut us off. Give me a break. With their involvement in multiple dubious financial operations and links to organizations with political agendas, it seems unlikely that they are in any financial trouble. They are just greedy. They want more. Their foundation and other partnerships provide a steady stream of income that they can use to further their agenda, whether it is political or personal. It is a slush fund for their vanity. In the end, many Americans are demanding answers. They believe that Harry's activities in the U.S. need to be scrutinized, and that if he continues to interfere in domestic politics, he should be sent back to the UK. But here is the problem. The UK doesn't want him. I talk to you guys every day, and I know the sentiment. You love William. You love Catherine. You see them doing the work, visiting the food banks, supporting the cancer wards, wearing the uniform with pride. They are the standard. They are the class. And then you look at Harry, this disheveled mess of a man, moaning about his sausages while allegedly funneling refugee money into his PR machine. It is a contrast that hurts your heart. There is growing frustration over the fact that Harry and Meghan seem to be able to escape any real consequences for their actions while taking advantage of their royal status for financial gain. They use the titles Duke and Duchess to open the doors, and then they use the American dollars to keep the lights on. It is parasitic. And Trump, love him or hate him, is the kind of guy who calls out the parasites. He has stripped away the veneer. He is saying what we are all thinking. You are grifters. You are laundering your reputation and our money at the same time. Whether or not the couple divorces is ultimately irrelevant to the bigger issue, though we all know that clock is ticking. When the money dries up, Meghan will be gone faster than you can say curtsy. But right now, their influence and involvement in U.S. affairs are raising significant concerns that need to be addressed sooner rather than later. Can you imagine the conversation at the dinner table in Montecito right now? The plates must be flying. Meghan is probably screaming at the lawyers, screaming at Harry, blaming everyone but herself. How dare they look at our taxes? How dare they question my benevolence? Because that is the narcissist's way. They genuinely believe they are entitled to other people's money. They believe they are owed the world. But the jig is up. The dirty laundering U.S. taxpayer money scam. Headline is out there, and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And let's take a moment to appreciate the real royals again, just to cleanse our palates from this toxicity. Look at King Charles and Queen Camilla. They have faced health challenges this year with such dignity. They haven't asked for a GoFundMe. They haven't started a shady foundation to funnel government grants. They have just carried on. Look at Princess Catherine. The grace she has shown while battling cancer, while protecting her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. She hasn't sold her story to Netflix. She hasn't used her illness to attack the government. She has been a pillar of strength. That is royalty. That is honor. And then you have Harry. Oh, Harry, you foolish, foolish man. You traded the respect of a nation for a woman who is allegedly using you as a shield for questionable financial dealings. You traded a palace for a house of cards. And now that the wind is blowing, now that powerful people like Trump are starting to huff and puff, that house is shaking. If it turns out that this money was misused, if it turns out that the Archewell Foundation was just a piggy bank for their political ambitions and their designer wardrobe, Harry could face real legal trouble. We are talking deportation. We are talking fraud investigations. And honestly, it couldn't happen to a more deserving couple. They have spent years lecturing us from their ivory tower. They have lectured us on climate change, on racism, on misinformation, all while spreading lies and taking private jets. They have bitten the hand that fed them over and over again. And now the American taxpayer is waking up and realizing, wait a minute, why am I feeding them too? Meghan thought she could outsmart everyone. She thought she could come to America, play the victim card, and become a political powerhouse. She thought she was the next Michelle Obama or the next Oprah. But she forgot one thing. You have to actually do the work. You have to actually be honest. You can't just slap a logo on a website and funnel money around and hope no one notices. People notice. Donald Trump notices. The IRS notices. And we, the friendly neighbor critics who have been watching this train wreck, we notice. This expose on air is the beginning of the end for the Sussex brand in America. They are radioactive. No legitimate politician is going to want to touch them now. No legitimate charity is going to want to partner with them if their finances are under investigation. They are becoming pariahs in the very country they tried to conquer. And the irony is delicious. They left the UK because they felt unsupported, only to come to the US and scam the support of the people. So, Harry, if you are listening, and I know you watch, I know you scroll through the comments looking for validation, pack your bags. But don't expect a welcome parade in London. William is done with you. The British people are done with you. You made your bed in the land of the free, and now you have to lie in it, even as the sheets are being pulled out from under you by the IRS. Meghan, you can't hide behind the race card on this one. You can't hide behind mental health. Math is math. Numbers don't lie. If the tax returns are missing, if the money is missing, that is on you. You are the mastermind, right? You are the manager. Well, you managed to drive this right off a cliff. Friends, this is huge. This is the turning point. We need to keep the pressure on. We need to demand that audit. We need to support the creators and the journalists who are brave enough to dig into this when the mainstream media turns a blind eye. Because the truth matters, integrity matters, and our tax dollars certainly matter. I want to know what you think. Do you think Trump will actually go after them? Do you think the IRS will finally audit Archewell? And do you think Harry has any idea what is actually going on with the finances, or is he just signing whatever piece of paper Meghan puts in front of him? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and keep supporting the real royals who serve with honor. And as for the Sussexes, the grift is up. Tick-tock, Meghan, tick-tock. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your heart with the Windsors. Cheers, ta-ta, and bye for now.